Hello everyone, my name is Devendra and in this video we are going to learn about Python strings, indexing, slicing and then at last we'll look into some important string functions. So let's get started. So strings. Strings are sequence of characters written inside quotes. Uh, they can include letters, numbers, spaces and symbols. Strings can be created using single quote, double quote or triple quote. So usually triple quotes are used for multi-line strings as you can see in the example. Okay, moving on to the next. So how to access these characters in a string? So this can be done using indexing or slicing. So let's see what is indexing. As you know, in Python, strings are ordered sequences of characters. We can access individual characters or a substring. Let's see this with an example. I have a string named Devendra. So where indexing is of two types, positive indexing and negative indexing. Positive indexing is also known as forward indexing and negative indexing is known as backward indexing. So in forward indexing or positive indexing, the index is starts from zero. So the first character of the string will be marked as zero. Then second will be one, two, and this will go on till the last character. So in positive direction. Similarly, when we talk about negative indexing, the indexing starts from the last character and it starts as -1. Then second last will be -2, third last will be -3, and it will go on till the very first character. Yeah. So let's see this with an example. So we have a string Devendra, and if we have to see which character is stored at 0th position. So for that string, as we know, for positive indexing, the indexing starts with 0. So if we have to see the word of 0, it should return capital D. And the same, if we have to see word of 5, so we know words it starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it should return small d. Similarly, if we have to see with what is stored at the seventh index, which means the last index. So if seventh index, so we'll start 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it will return A. Similarly, for negative indexing, if we have that word, if we have to see -1, since we know negative indexing starts from the last index and last index is capital A, which should start with -1, which is actually small a, which starts with -1. So this returns small a. Similarly, if we have to see what is stored at -5, so let's see -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, it will be small e. Same as for -6, it will be small v. All right, let's move to slicing. So what is slicing? Slicing is a way to extract a portion of string by specifying the start and end indexes. So the general form in which we represent a string here as slicing, it will be that string where we will have enclosed within the start index followed by colon and then end index within square brackets. Let's see this with an example how actually slicing works. So now similarly we have a variable name where a string Devendra is stored. Now, if we have to see, if we have to see what is stored at 0th index till 8th index. So what we are doing is here is that we want to get a substring which starts from 0th index and ends on 8th. So as we know, 0th index we have D until 8th, which will be our actually 7th index. Return the whole string Devendra. Same by default, if you don't give the starting index, it takes the very first index. And for similarly, if you don't give the end index, it by default picks the last index of the string. All right. If let's say if we have to get a substring, so we can define. So here, the very first index is defined at 0. 0 is D. Then it will go till 3. So till 3, if it will go, it means that it will count till 2 only. So 0, 1, 2. So it will return DEV dev. Similarly, if we have to see what is there for 4 till 6, so it's 4 and 5. At 4 we have N, and at 5 we have D. I think I put in this. This should be N and D. Yeah. Similarly, what is that? 3 till 5, so 3 and 4. We need 3 and 4, so it's EN. Yep. Okay, let's see this. So also, in slicing, there is one more option where we can provide step values. Step values means that we can provide the characters, like how many characters we can actually want to skip. So in this example, if you will see, we have the starting index, then end index, and then the step value. So here, since it's not provided by default, it will take the very first character. So it's 0, then the last character, and then so basically first index, last index, and then step value. So for Devendra, it will start from the 0th index, then it will capture first, and it will actually it will skip the first and second. Um, okay, so similarly, let's see. We have one more thing when slicing, that is skip character or step value. What we can do is we can provide a step value with our slicing index as well. So where, if you remember, slicing we used to have starting index and ending index. So here what we'll have, we'll have starting index, ending index, plus with that we will have one more index which will be our step value. So the value which we can actually skip while traversing. So for example, here if you will see, if we have to print something, the very first index, yeah. So here if you will see, we have one variable, again same variable. Now if we have to see the same variable Devendra, here if I have to give the starting index and then we have to skip two values and then print. Okay, so if I have to skip two, it means that I'll print D, then I'll skip actually one. So whatever index is specified here, it means -1. So if it's 2, then it will be actually 1. So I'll be skipping 1, then I'll print V, then skipping E, then N, then skipping B, then R, and then skipping A. So it will return DVNR. Similarly, here the step value is 3, starting from the first index till 8th index, and step value is 3. So what we will do, we'll start from the 0th, we'll skip the second one, we'll skip the third one, and then it will print fourth one. So here, first D, skip it, print this one. So D, then E, and then skip, and then at the sixth index, it's R. So DER. Okay. We have one more thing here. If we give the negative indices, we can give negative indices as well as a step value. So if we give -1, which actually means that we are reversing that sync. So what happens? It will start traversing from the end, and it will keep on coming in this direction. So again, if this is -1, -2, -3, -4, so it will keep on incrementing. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and at last we will get our reverse string. All right, let's move to some important string methods. So, as we know, Python provides several built-in methods for manipulating string. So, let's see some of the common string methods. First one is length. So, what length does is it returns the length of a string. So, whatever string we have, if you want to find its length, we can use this len function, length function. So, let's see this with an example. So, here, if you'll see, I have a string hello. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. And if I want to check the length of it, I can simply run it and it will give me the length of this. If I have to check it with one more example, let's say I'll say my string 1, which will capture maybe my name. Okay, and now if I just print length of my string one, okay, and you just execute it. So I think Devendra has 8 characters. It should return 8. Yeah, see, it returned 8. All right, let's move to the next function, which is upper and lower. So what these two functions do, they actually convert all the characters in a string to uppercase or lowercase. Let's see this with an example. Again, I have a string hello world. If you will see the characters, what upper does is upper will actually convert this string into all the characters of that string into uppercase. And similarly, what this lower will do, lower will convert all the characters in lowercase. So that's seen. Yep. Let's move to the next one. Capitalize, title, swap case. So basically what these characters do, these methods actually convert the first character of each word to uppercase and rest to lowercase. So if I have to capitalize any string, I can simply give that string and it will capitalize the very first character and the rest of the character will be converted into a lower case. Same with title. Title will do? Title will do, it will capitalize the very first character of each word actually. So since we have two words here, hello and world, so these words, the H will be capitalized and W will be capitalized. And for swap cases, if it's capital, it will swap it to make it small case. And if it's uppercase, then it will convert it into lowercase. So upper to lower, lower to upper. Yep. Moving on to next, we have strip, L strip, R strip. So these methods basically do, they remove leading and trailing spaces, the white spaces. So if we have let's say a word where a string where there are leading spaces or the spaces on the right, it will actually remove them. So what strip will do, strip will remove all the spaces, whether they are actually on the right or they are on the left. Left what L strip will do, it will remove the white spaces, what all the white spaces which are on the left side. Then similarly, right will do the spaces on the right side. Yeah. Now we have another function as replace. What replace does is replace actually replaces all the occurrences of a string with another substring. So if I have to replace any character or any string within a string, I can just replace it. Let's see the example. So here, if you will see, there was a string hello world, which I wanted to replace the word world with Python. So simple. The same has been done. So here we just have to provide the very first word, which were two inputs, the one which I actually want to change and with I want to change. Okay. Then we have starts with and ends with. So what these methods do, they check if a string actually starts or ends with a substring. Okay. Let's see this with an example then. What it does is, if I have a string hello world, it will check and I want to check if it actually starts with hello or if it ends with world. Right? Here, if I just say it starts with the, maybe I can just do this thing again. I'll just copy it. Okay, I'll paste, and I say if I say it ends with world and it starts with ends with hello. Now, if I run it again, I should get false for both of them. Yep, I got false for both of them. Yep. Then we have other functions: is alpha, is digit, and is space. As the name suggests, these methods check if string contains any alphabetic, if there are only alphabetic characters or numeric characters or white space characters. So, yep. So if you'll see in the first example here, I have a string hello world. If you see, is it alphabetic? No, because it contains byte space. Is uh, is it all digits? Obviously no. Is there any space? Not any space. If it actually is a space or null string, no. So all false. Then again now the second string which I have, it's 1 2 3 4 5, which is actually numeric string. So now is alpha, it should return false. Is digit, yes, it should return true. Because all the characters are numeric. Then the next one is space. No, it doesn't have, or it's not actually all spaces, so it's false. Similarly, the last string, since it contains all the spaces, it is space should be true. The rest should return false. Okay. Then let's move to next one. So here is upper, is lower, or is title. So as the name suggests itself, these methods check if a string is in uppercase or lowercase or title case. Yeah. So same. Since it's hello world, if you will see, this is in title case. It returns true for title case, rest false. Then the other string I have hello world, which is all in lowercase. So it should return is lower as true, rest all false. Then I have the third string, which is actually all caps. So is upper should return true, the rest two should return false. Okay. Then next I have split function. So what split function in Python do is it is used to split a string into a list of substrings based on a specific delimiter. So here, what it will do, it will actually break our string, whatever string we have, it will break it on the basis of the delimiter, whichever delimiter we pass, and it will break it into a list of the words. So let me just show you with this with an example. So here, if you will see, I have a word, I have a string hello world, and here I am splitting it with space. So wherever I'll get space, I'll just split it. So now as a result, it should give me two two strings hello and world separately as a list, as you can see here. Let's see. Let's see this with one more example. If I just say, I'll just say list one. Okay. uh, Not list one. See, anything. I string only. I string. Okay. And here, if I just give hello, my name is Devinch. Okay. Now, if I have to split it, what I'll do, I this, then I'll give my string name, then I'll say this, and then I'll use split. Now, what split takes, either it can have a space as a delimiter, so we can keep it as it is. Let me just execute this one first. It should return me a 1 2 3 4 5, a list with 5 characters. Again, if I have to see it with different delimiters, maybe what I can do, I can just copy this again. I'll just paste it here. I'll change, let's say maybe hyphen, and hyphen only. Okay. And now here I'll just give hyphen as a delimiter and I'll run it again. So here, if you'll see, it converted, but this time it is returned only four strings, four substrings. So first one is hello, was then post that my, followed by name, and then followed by is Devendra, because there is no hyphen between is Devendra. All right. So now let's move to the next one. Then next we have join function. So in Python, what join is, it actually joins the sequence of strings into a single string. So let's say if I have multiple strings and I want to join those multiple strings into a single string, it will help me to do that. So let's see this with our example here. I have two words, one list with two words. First is hello, then so I have two strings, hello and world. So now I want to join these strings with a space. So it should return me something like this, and then with hyphen, it should return something like this. Yep. Okay, all right. So now moving on to the next thing, which is string formatting. So how do we actually format our strings? So this can be done in two ways. We have first is f string, and then we have another thing as format method. So what f string does is it allows us to directly insert variables and expressions inside a string using curly braces. Let's see this with an example here. If you will see, I have a variable name as John, age as 30. I have a message where I have used this f, and then I have my variable. So my name is variable my name, and then I am then age 30, and I'll just print it. So what it should print, it should print that my name is John and I am 30 years old. Similarly, if I just update this to maybe Dev and age to 30, maybe 31, so it'll give me my name is Dev and I am 31 years old. The similar thing we can achieve with format function as well. Here, what format method will do, it will help us to insert those values into placeholders, which will be inside our string. So whatever string we are defining, there will have that placeholder. And whenever we want to update that value, we can simply pass it within the format method, and it will eventually replace it within my string. Let's see this with an example here. So I have a string hello where the next word I have just passed curly braces. So now I have to pass something which can replace that with my actual placeholder. So here I have passed hello world, which actually replaced the actual format string or curly braces, and it has already it has replaced that one. So now we'll have that whole string, formatted string. Again, there is one more example. Same the one which we used mm, above with f string. Now we'll do it with the format method, how you can do it. So I'll define my string. My name is I curly braces and I am again formatting then years old. So I'll define name as John, age is 30, and same thing. When I'll pass the format function, I can simply pass name and age there, and it will replace. All right, so it returned my name is John and I am 30 years old as expected. Okay, all right. I think that's it for this video. Uh, See you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.